Hi there, Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video we are going to continue our look at painting the Corpse Grinder Cutter, and we are going to work on the armor. We have already worked on the gloves, pants, and the face mask, and we've worked on the flesh, and so now it is up to the armor. For that we're going to use Cyberite Green as our base tone. We're going to use some Lamian Medium. And basically we are going to thin this down ever so slightly. We might even add, just for giggles, a drop of Flowway just to help with the way it flows and conforms to the model surface. But I don't think it's entirely necessary here, and so we simply begin base coating these areas. And basically I'm going to do the thigh pads, the metal plate that's over the groin, as well as around his collar, and the little armor plates that are kind of on his horns as well. And then of course I don't show it here, but I also do the little plates that are on his boots and his axe, the casings on the axes as well. So basically I have this nice green. Now this light green here kind of has like that minty kind of green. It also has that kind of healthcare professional, which is kind of what I was going for. It's kind of like a healthcare kind of thing. It's white and green, kind of a sanitary kind of look, which will make our future endeavors even more interesting. Pterodon turquoise with some contrast medium thinned out, and I begin applying this. I slap a little bit onto my palette and basically mix it into a 1-to-1 mix ratio, and I begin applying it onto the model surface, and immediately I lay it down and it's a little bit too heavy, so I end up squeegeeing off some excess and moving the excess around to fill in those spaces. In hindsight, I probably could have gone a little bit thinner, probably closer to more of a 1-to-2, 1 Pterodon to 2 medium. Because I really was just looking for this to fill in the gaps, create some shadowy points, and I wasn't really looking for it to tint the main areas too heavily, which it does here. And so I end up having to fight with that later on when I come back with Cyberite Green. We're going to use just a little bit of dampness here. I'm going to use a two-brush method to begin laying the highlights down. And as I mentioned before, with laying the contrast down just a little bit too heavily, I end up having to kind of go over some areas twice with the blends so that I get at least a decent transition occurring with it. I could have simply used the Cyberite Green to basically fill in the areas again, but I avoid doing that. I thought, nah, I'll just do it. And plus too, this guy's kind of my central character. I don't know if this guy's the squad leader or what, but he is gonna be my squad leader. I suppose he's like the main cutter, I don't know. But you can see the armor plates are a lot brighter now, and this is closer to where I wanted. I only wanted that contrast paint to basically just kind of provide a bit of shading to the areas, but not change the overall value of the armor. But I left it pretty contrasty here. As I work with the other models, I will adjust this so that the armor does remain a lot brighter, because again, when we get to further steps, we will make this a little bit more interesting. But I simply just go around on the axes, the armor plates, the chest, the helmet, all those areas, and get those areas all highlighted. Gauze Blaster Green, this is the edge highlight color. You could probably use the dry as well. I can't remember what the green color is. It's a dry, but it's the same hue as this one. And basically I'm just going to do a little bit of edging here, and that's all we're going to do here. It's pretty simple and straightforward. We're just going to go through and simply edge highlight basically on the lower portions of the armor. So on the axis, it's on the lower points of the armor. On the thigh pads and shoulder armor, it is all on the lower points, and as well as the upper points. You can see on the back armor plate how it kind of has that non-metallic metal look, so I play with that, and I also just do the upper points as well. But that is pretty much it for the armor. And so next thing we are going to work on is probably let's do the eyeballs, and then maybe let's do some blood splatters. I think that would be a lot of fun. Again, we went for this bright color scheme so that when we add the gore, it stands out a lot more and becomes a lot more visually interesting. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below and follow that, and choose whatever tier speaks to you. And a huge thank you to everybody, and take care of those brushes.